Hello, today we're going to be talking about a new development from NS&I that's going to be a bit of a game changer for financial planners. My name is Chris Morris, I'm the Deputy Head of Financial Planning here at the CISI. I'm pleased to be joined here today by Andrew Pike from NS&I and Nick Fletcher from London Wall Partners. Andy, what's your role at NS&I?
Thanks, Chris. Thanks for having me here today. Yes, I'm Head of Intermediary Relationships at NS&I, which means that I lead the relationship between NS&I and the financial planning community. So I work closely with the professional bodies like the CISI, but also the firms themselves.
Excellent. And Nick, I know you're one of our certified financial planners. Welcome. Tell us about your firm and what's your vision.
Yeah, well, I founded the firm in 2012, having worked for nearly 20 years in providing advice to families and helping them to optimise their capital. So that's really our passion, to help people to get into the best place that they can with their money, and that means both advising on financial planning and investment management, which is allocating capital among cash, fixed interest, property and company shares effectively. So that's what we do.
Okay. Thanks, Nick. So how did you two meet?
Well, interestingly, our relationship started off life as a complaint from London Wall Partners about the service that we provided to advice firms generally. I think it's fair to say advice firms think very positively of our brand, our security and our products, but there was some room for improvement in terms of some of the service that we offered.
For sure. Yes, I mean it was a business development opportunity as we saw it to improve, because again part of our service to our clients and remaining a profitable firm and keeping costs to clients in check was to have good providers, and when it was slow, it was cumbersome, and it was frustrating. So we didn't want to pass on the costs of our time to clients. We didn't think that was right, and we didn't want it to eat into our profits. And actually inefficiency is something that is not necessary, particularly in this digital age. So we very much wanted NS&I, because of that brand recognition, because of the security of capital for the cash element of clients' situations, to improve their service, because we wanted to use them. So therefore we saw it as being helpful. And I rang the CEO because often, if you ring the CEO, things can often happen from there. So, a CEO should be interested in the productivity and efficiency of their business, and so hopefully things happen, and they have.
And I think it was a very positive development, because as I say, we had that inquiry from Nick, but also some other firms as well, and we were aware of the challenges that they were experiencing and the need to modernise, especially because of the renewed interest in NS&I since the Retail Distribution Review. But we'd been deliberately prioritising, we don't make an apology for that, deliberately prioritising the end consumer, to modernise all our systems for the end consumer, but with the full intention of turning our attention to financial planning firms, which I'm glad to say we've done in the last 2 years, and we've put a lot of emphasis on that.
So it sounds like this complaint was sort of one view of many firms, Andy, and you were seeing that across the across the profession, were you? Yeah,
so I personally used to get quite a lot of feedback when we were out on the road at exhibitions and so on, but also in my inbox, and it's frustrating because it was something we were aware of, but we couldn't really do anything with it at the time. But then there was a real, the company was really galvanised by these inquiries that we were getting to doing something about it. It got to a stage where we needed to really bring that service for advice firms into the 21st century. Okay. I'm really glad to say that's what we've done.
And for people watching here today, what are the benefits?
Yeah, sure. So obviously we know financial planning firms are very busy. All the staff in those firms are very busy looking after the interests of their clients. As Nick said, they're dealing with multiple product providers, and they really need the service from all those providers to be really slick. So basically we've made everything easier, faster, and we've given them access to more information than before. So perhaps if I paint a picture of sort of where we've come from and to, so up until February 2018, if an advice firm wanted to find out anything about a client's holdings, they could do it, but they would have to do it by post, and they would have to supply a letter of authority signed by the client every time they asked for something, and then obviously have to wait for the response. Whereas now we've got a phone service and an online service launched, and with the correct letters of authority in place, which are now indefinite, so they can now be held on file indefinitely, which is a big change in itself, and a terms of business agreement in place as well between the advice firm and NS&I. That facilitates these new services. With the new online service, for example, you can see copies of all the correspondence that have gone out to your clients, valuations for all their holdings, statements, the premium bonds prize history as well, which might surprise some people, but that's all covered with the letter of authority as well. But ultimately, it's all to make it a lot faster and easier than it was before.
Yeah. So Nick, I mean, clients are expecting their advisors to be doing more now. So the reliance of it being taken away from them and allowing the financial planner to be able to access the holdings must be a game changer.
Well, we've always done financial planning fully, so for clients. So we look at the whole net worth and estate planning, tax planning, pension planning, cash flow planning. So all the elements need to be as efficient and effective as possible. And so certainly on this element of providing advice and the provider improving their services, it's a very significant improvement.
And your team have, responded well.
Well, yes. I mean, I don't use it personally myself, but the team, our administrators, are much happier with it, and it's very much improved.
So it's making efficiencies. And Andy, what's the vision for the future? Clearly, there's, the uptake has been good, I hear, but you're looking to, increase that further.
Yeah, so we've had nearly 600 advice firms register for the service, which I think has been brilliant, really. But there are 5,000 firms out there, so we've got a way to go. I think it's fair to say that nearly every firm will have clients with NS&I holdings, even if they haven't proactively advised on them, and so therefore there would be an interest for all advice firms potentially to register for the service. But we've had a fantastic reaction to it, very, very positive response, firms have said that it improves efficiency, it helps them monitor their clients' overall financial positions in a much better way, and it saves time. But also, behind all of that, they've told me that it does show an intent to form a much closer working relationship with advice firms. But we're not going to stop there. We've launched version 1, if you like, and version 1 should have hopefully addressed most of what advice firms would want to see on there. A clear thing that we are going to look at next is trusts, so looking at including trust accounts on the online service, which I know with some firms they do have a specialism in that area, and that they would really like to see that. So watch this space. That will hopefully be the next version.
And to be clear, so currently what can financial planners see?
So they can see all the clients' holdings in one place, so all their clients with NS&I holdings, assuming the letters of authority have been provided, and they'll be able to see valuations on fixed term products, maturity dates, copies of all the statements and communications that have gone out to the clients, and the premium bonds price history.
So really it will bring the visibility of the cash holdings in line with other investments that they can see.
Exactly. It's really giving them the missing piece of the financial jigsaw.
Sounds good. And for people watching, how can they take this forward? How can they register for the service?
So the first step is to go to nsandi-advisor.com, so the dedicated website for advice firms, and on there you'll find the templates for the terms of business agreement and the letter of authority template, and also all the instructions you would need to register. But essentially, you send in those documents, takes 2 or 3 days to put them on our system. You'll get access to the phone service from that point, and then after that you'll get an email with the actual link to use to register for the online service.
Okay, so sounds straightforward enough. Thank you both for your time. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Nick.
Yes.
We hope you found that to be of benefit, and we look forward to seeing you again in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you.